Therian Tornadus is back in Pokemon Go, so we're going to check out, is it going to be worth your time, energy, and resources to power up in Pokemon Go? Let's check it out right now. The Therian 4 Tornadus is an all-flying type Pokemon. Yes, all-flying type. It's actually pretty rare to find all-flying type Pokemon in the game. Does that make it good? We're going to find out if it's going to be good in GBL as a meta attacker and everything, and exactly what I would recommend doing with this Pokemon, because it does have a shiny out, which I think is a pretty cool subtle shiny. So obviously, if you are a shiny collector, that will come into the play of what you are going to do to handle this Pokemon if you do not have this Pokemon. And I am in Japan right now, so we actually got to go into one of the temples in Kyoto and see where this Pokemon was actually derived from. Unfortunately, we couldn't take any pictures, but it's very cool to see one of the wind gods and kind of come into fruition at almost the same time I'm in Japan. We have that coming out. So this Pokemon is going to max out at 3,782. So as you guys do know and have seen me talk about a bunch of these videos, if you don't or haven't seen any of my top attacker videos, I always put these out. You can check them out up here. I want to make sure you guys use all your resources properly, that if we're not around 4,000 and up for these meta attackers, they're more than likely not going to be the most influential Pokemon for their category or in the game in general. There are exceptions to that, but let's see if this one will be an exception. This Pokemon will have an attack of 266, a defense of 164, and a stamina of 188. So it's definitely a little bit more favorable in the attack category, which makes it more set up to be an attacker and less set up for a typical looking PvP Pokemon. With it being all flying type, it does not have a double weakness. It will have 3 regular weaknesses, which are going to be rock, ice, as well as electric. And then as far as its resistances go, it's going to double resist ground, single resist bug, fighting, as well as grass. So actually pretty decent resistances right there. Even though the list is small, there are definitely some pretty good fighting types out there and also some grass types out there, which would potentially serve in some PvP instances, which then moves us on to the moveset. So it is going to get air slash as well as bite. So when I'm going over these movesets, I don't want to say that I'm going to count this Pokemon completely out, because its attack value is semi-decent here. So I don't want to ever count a Pokemon out completely, because at some point it could get a shadow, it could get a move update, and that Pokemon could become extremely relevant, which then we would be scrambling to try to catch up. So for me, guys, remember, we do get free raid passes on a daily basis. You might as well get some extra candy for some of these Pokemon and just be proactively setting yourself up, as opposed to being like, I don't like this Pokemon, I'm not going to raid for it. I always suggest doing some raids, even if it's just using your free pass on a daily basis. And typically for me, I'm always hosting raid hour with my elite squad in Patreon, so I am always doing at least 10 to 15 of these Pokemon per week, even if I don't particularly care to raid for it. So I always end up having more XL candy, and then I use the Mega Level 3 to line up with these Pokemon, which for this Pokemon would be Pidgeot. We can do Aerodactyl, which would be the most served if you guys want to see the counter guide where I talk about that, because it can be also a meta attacker for this Pokemon, and it can yield you the XL candy because of the rock and flying type. Or you could also use Mega Charizard Y. And if you do want more raid battles, you can check in the pinned comments below, jump into the Discord, totally free to get you more raids, or jump into the Patreon, start at the premier Discord raider groups, and work on up if you want to get into the elite to raid with myself. So not only that, for its charge moves, it will get Hurricane, Hyper Beam, Grass Knot, and Dark Pulse. I actually decently like this Pokemon's move. The only moveset that it's missing is its stab type bonus, which is going to be Hurricane, not the most effective flying type move out there. If we were to look at this Pokemon with Gust and Sky Attack, it may be a whole different story, but as of right now, this is where this moveset sits. So now let's check out this Pokemon, best of the best, against itself. What's its best movesets in here? The top moveset coming out of the Incarnate form is going to be Grass Knot and Air Slash at an ER value of 34.53. Then we're looking at Bite and Grass Knot at 33.29, and then all flying type, Air Slash Hurricane at 33.02. And then we go to the Therian form coming in next. So actually in this instance, doesn't happen very often, the Incarnate form is more strong than the Therian form. And now let's check out this Pokemon in its flying category, and then we'll check it out in the grass category, because it does get Grass Knot. It is its strongest move. Let's see where it does sit and stack up against. There are some really strong grass types, but we'll check it out as well. All right, so flying type, we have Mega Rayquaza at an ER value of 46.42. So obviously speaking, this Pokemon right there is very strong. Shadow Moltres with the Sky Attack, which is an elite TMable move, is 46.06. Then we go to Shadow Ho-Oh, and we're going to Mega Pidgeot. Remember, Gust, Brave Bird, Gust, Sky Attack, Wing Attack, Sky Attack. Those are going to be the premier flying type moves here. Shadow Honchkrow, Shadow Staraptor, not on the first page. If we do go to the second page, in the 6th spot, we are going to have the Air Slash and Hurricane at 33.02, which is behind Unpheasant, Braviary, Staraptor, and Honchkrow. And then if we want to go to the grass category, seeing that we do not get a fast move that's grass, we now have to go to all charge moves that are grass. At the top, Mega Sceptile at 51.06, Kartana, really impressive there, at 43.64. Then we actually have Xurkitree, and then Primal Groudon, Mega Latios, and then keep on going downwards here here. And then if you guys do want to see this Pokemon, you're actually going to be in the 42nd spot overall at 34.53. Okay, so looking at this Pokemon, is it the most effective attacker? Unfortunately, it's not. Even as a grass type, I'm really impressed by that Kartana there, but it is not the best grass type attacker, obviously, which I think we could have chosen. And then as far as a flying type attacker, we have budget counters that are stronger than a legendary Pokemon that you have to pay for the XL candy. So as far as maxing this Pokemon out, as of right now, I'm going to say absolutely not for a meta attacker standpoint. But there is a shiny out, so if you are a shiny collector, you have one of two options. Either somebody gets it and you pay 40,000 Stardust to be able to get it if they do choose to raid for this Pokemon, or option number two, you just raid until you get it. For me, I have the shiny. I will do some raids for this Pokemon, but I am not overly excited. However, I did do a mega butt ton of raids this past week, which I will be putting out in a video for you guys. I'm excited to check that out, but man, oh man, that was a lot of fun, and I'm kind of ready for some raid rest, and this is a great time for it. So I use these opportunities as a great time to be able to rest, recuperate, and regenerate my passion for raiding so that I don't get burnt out doing it all the time, and then it makes it feel like a task in Pokemon Go. But there's one more aspect, and that is going to be GBL. How is this Pokemon ranked? In the Ultra League, it's going to be ranked 585, and in the Master League, it's going to be ranked 318. The moveset combination, just so you guys know, is going to be Air Slash, Grass Knot, and Dark Pulse. I actually like the moveset on this Pokemon. I think it is pretty cool. However, it is not strong enough for a GBL Pokemon, and it doesn't get optimal movesets for a meta attacker. So unfortunately, this Pokemon is only good for its shiny as of right now. So what are you guys going to do? Let me know in the comments below. Obviously, there is my opinion. I want to look out for you guys. I want to make sure you're saving your Stardust and resources to the best and most prominent Pokemon in Pokemon Go. So thank you guys for tuning in as always.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.